Hello nerds, it is Monday, January the 28th, 2019, and that means it is the 28th game of the meditation games. Today's game was made by Florian Dormont. I'll just read the blurb out for you. I forgot the exact day, but it was late January. I lived a week without emotions. I tried to support people and tried to feel their pain, to help them. But what I did in the end was hurt myself. Absorbing too much sadness or pain can make you numb. I learnt that even though you can consider other people's lives more important than yours, you still have to take care of yourself. That wasn't word for word because English is a second language and the sentence was a bit broken, but that is what he was saying effectively. This is a topic that I feel I greatly identify with, so very curious to see what he's done with it. Okay. Okay, that's me. I'm saying hello. So look. Okay, we had a chat. Oh, okay, it doesn't matter what button I press, it just proceeds to the next bit. Okay, so talking, they are talking of sad. We exchange words. I have some happy. They didn't respond with happy. And I've also noticed that in the top corner, I have like a happy face that is changing. I assume it's getting less happy, more sad. Oh, we were both happy, but I still feel more sad. Interesting, okay. Dialogue, happies. I feel much sadder. Oh. Talking to someone who feels sad. I give them a happy. Oh. What? Oh, okay. Oh. Not happy. Not sad. Oh. Oh, did you see the little sad expression he had at the end? Oh. I think that's the numbness he's talking about there. I think it is, because it's happy, no. Sad, no. So I assume, yeah, it must be the numbness he's talking about there. Also, yeah, he's getting fainter the more this plays out. My immediate reaction to that is there's no one that he's interacting with, and he's slowly fading is really the right analogy that I would personally use for it, but it's also worth considering. French is his first language. So, oh, there we go. So what was I saying? Yeah, I think it's worth considering that French is his first language, so whereas I may see it as fading and think, I'm not entirely sure how that works, that actually may be a very common phrase that is used in French that does mean that. So I've got to take that on board and think, maybe that is just over my head. Maybe that's something I don't have the common language, the common dialogue with him to understand. So let's run it again. Okay, so in the top corner, we have a big happy face. That's always a good thing to see. Any button walks towards them. I wish I knew what was going on here. Because my initial thought was I was taking it as he is giving his happiness to other people. But the little speech bubbles don't always marry up with that. Which, to be fair, is quite true in some ways. Like, it doesn't matter if you try to give someone positivity. It doesn't always make them happy, and it can be very draining for yourself as well. Like, I don't think they had a smiley reaction at the end of it. And that took its toll on me, on my little face in the corner there. But one of these did confuse me quite a lot. Was it this one? Chat. Both happy, but that's still taking a toll on me. To be fair, that is realistic. I mean, the nature of depression isn't very logical. Even though someone is positively exchanging with me, it may not necessarily mean that I'm getting a positive end experience from it. I may not come away from it feeling much better. Sometimes having that pleasant exchange and then going away from it can make you feel sadder, because you're going away from that positivity back into the negative things in your life, and that feels quite daunting and draining. So and again, that does seem a shame. Someone is sad. We are talking. Yeah, that feels like being happy towards someone and not getting that sort of feedback, I guess. And yeah, I don't know. It's quite confusing. I could be looking at this wrong as well. I'm very fully prepared to accept that. But it does get emotionally draining being there all the time for people. I have been someone who has done that for people, and have had people who have done that for me, and have seen how draining it is for them as well. So I get that. And then we have this fading thing. I'm not certain what the English analogy for that would be. It might pop into my head, I don't know. Or maybe someone else knows. I just may not know of it. I say it may be a French thing, a French idiom, but it could be a completely English thing as well. I'm just not familiar with it, or I've missed it. Both are exceptionally likely. So that was today's game. I'm not certain on a lot of what was being said from character to character. I'm not sure what every single one of those dialogues was meant to have been. I get the feeling they did mean something a lot more specific. But I don't know what that is. I don't have enough context to really piece that together. It didn't seem to always make sense to me in that regard. Like, sometimes you could be, you would have a happy face, a happy emote, and they would have a happy emote, but you still walk away from that feeling sad. But I did touch on that a bit in the video as well, although I would be very curious to see if that's what he meant. But the very idea of this game, and the message he's trying to tell, is being there for people can be very mentally and emotionally draining, and that is true. As I said, it's something that I've had a lot of experience with, and it's something that I've been on the other end of. I've had friends who have been there for me, and it has been incredibly emotionally draining and mentally draining on them as well. But I think the most important thing is at the end, you just see him fading. I suppose that's probably more of an analogy to that numbness taking over, himself falling into, well, I assume he fell into poor mental health as a result of this. But it illuminates the absolutely important idea of you do need that someone to talk to as well. Quite a few of my friends and I have talked about our mental health a lot, and what we often find is we can often be there for one another when each other need it. You kind of prop each other up. So at the end, him being on his own, to me, I think that's the saddest part of it, because to me it feels like what was really important was having that someone that they could express that negativity to, express their pain to. But like I said, likewise, it's important to have someone that you can do the same to, otherwise you just take all this hurt on. It'll drag you down. As he says in his blurb, it's very important that you take care of yourself also. And sometimes that can mean talking to other people, or just finding some way of releasing that pent-up sadness, or just releasing that pent-up negativity. So anyway, that game gave me a lot to talk about. I appreciate that. I like it when games do that. So as I said, the guy who made today's game is Florian Dormont. I'll leave his Twitter below, as always. It doesn't look like he's been responsible for any major releases, at least not that I could find. He does, however, have like a portfolio page, and that's got some pretty cool little bits on there, so I'll leave a link to that below as well. Feel free to check that out. So thank you to Florian for making today's game, and thank you for watching. I'll see you again tomorrow. Take care.